Last week, we talked about the establishment reaction to President Trump's European trip and pointed out all the IYIs pompously pontificating about it. Remember that? Black Swan author Nassim Taleb's brilliant phrase to describe elitist groupthink. Intellectual yet idiot. IYI. I said there'd be a lot more after Helsinki, and I wasn't wrong. This is part 2. But like others, even on this network, I was upset by the Russia summit. This is personal for me. My parents are Hungarian. They escaped Eastern Europe, but for most of my life, the rest of my family lived under communism. I hate all authoritarian communist dictators, and that's what Vladimir Putin is. So President Trump's treatment of him in public, look, the president would probably consider it an insult, like I would, to be called an intellectual. But that press conference was definitely idiotic. Here's what I said on Monday. The president totally wrong not to strongly condemn Russia attack. Just wish establishment types like Senator John McCain were as fired up over the regime that attacks us more than Russia, is more brutal authoritarian than Russia, is a much bigger threat than Russia, Xi Jinping's China. But as happens so often these days, the hysterical, over-the-top reactions of the angry, hate-filled, conspiracy-mongering elite, or even worse, yes, the IYIs were out in force, led by the severely creepy John Brennan.
Well, good on Dan Coats to stand up for the women and men of the intelligence community. And those who are going to be silent in this administration are complicit. And so they need to be able to speak out very strongly. But what Mr. Trump did yesterday was to betray the women and men of the FBI, the CIA, NSA, and others, and to betray the American public. And that's why I use the term that this is nothing short of treasonous, because it is a betrayal of the nation. He is giving aid and comfort to the enemy, and it needs to stop.
Treason, idiot. And we saw escalating idiocy all week, with Democrats suggesting that President Trump is literally a Russian agent. Here's Senator Tammy Duckworth. Republicans in Congress cannot continue to turn a blind eye towards the very real possibility that Vladimir Putin has compromised our commander-in-chief and turned him, perhaps without his knowledge, into a Russian asset. And here today was the divisive 2020 presidential wannabe, Democratic Congressman Seth Moulton.
Do you think it's possible that the president is a Russian asset with or without his knowledge?
Well, I'm just saying that I don't know.
As usual, the extremism of the left pushes people not away from President Trump, but towards him. Look, after all the unhinged Russia talk this week, there are two important things to remember. First, that Putin is not the only, nor is he the most dangerous communist dictator threatening America. China's Xi Jinping is much more authoritarian, much more evil, and a much bigger threat. China's been meddling in our democracy for years, and you've barely heard a peep out of the elites in Washington, mainly because they've been corrupted by Chinese cash, as we will show you in a can't-miss Swamp Watch next Sunday. The second important thing to remember is that we are the ones who've made our democratic process vulnerable to foreign attack by buying into the idea that technology improves it. Here's another IYI in action this week. Rod Rosenstein talking about how the Justice Department is planning to protect the 2018 midterm elections.
Public attribution of foreign influence campaigns can help to counter and mitigate the harm caused by foreign-sponsored misinformation. When people are aware of the true sponsor, they can make better informed decisions. We also help technology companies to counter covert foreign influence efforts. The FBI works with partners in the intelligence community to identify foreign agents as they establish their digital infrastructure and as they develop their online presence.
What an idiot. Dear Deputy Attorney General, the more we rely on big, centralized technology, the more fragile and vulnerable we are. If you want to make our elections secure, go back to people marking their ballots with a pencil and paper, human beings counting them in school halls and phoning in the results on a landline. I'd like to see Vladimir Putin or Xi Jinping try to hack millions of pencils across America. But no, our intellectual yet idiot ruling class has been bribed and mesmerized by big business and big tech. What a bunch of idiots. Tell me what you think at NextRevFNC and at Steve Hilton X. And make sure you pre-order my new book, Positive Populism. Here's the website. You can get it, positivepopulism.org.